Saturday afternoon, Texas DPS evacuated the state capitol after a credible threat was made against state lawmakers. Here's Fox's Amelia Jones with more.
Saturday, before the No Kings protest in Austin, Texas DPS says a credible threat was made against Texas lawmakers. The Capitol building was evacuated before the protests began. One person was arrested in LaGrange en route to Austin, and the investigation is ongoing. This happened while lawmakers were learning of the targeted attack that killed Democrat Minnesota State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband. Democrat Minnesota State Senator John Hoffman and his wife were also shot in a separate targeted attack that the Minnesota governor called politically motivated.
Absolutely. Very shocked and very concerned.
Texas House Representative Amelia Jones is one of the many who signed the Democratic caucus letter to Governor Greg Abbott, asking to increase safety measures for state lawmakers. The letter says in part, quote, politically motivated extremists have proven they are willing to murder to achieve political aims. And in light of the threat on those attending the protest, we have every reason to believe Texas officials could be targeted next.
I think it's very important to bring to the governor's attention that we as Democratic elected officials are very concerned for our safety.
The letter says these concerns stem from the rhetoric used by elected officials and online, and how those words can become physical actions.
We hear time after time, things that may come at us online, through social media, through people's, whatever, people have to say about the decisions that we have to make as lawmakers. But when you see that manifested and someone takes that conversation off the keyboard and literally coordinates a plan and carries it out, it should be something that alarms everyone right now.
The threats and attacks have largely been against Democratic lawmakers and elected officials, although it is worth noting there have been 2 attempts on President Trump's life. Jones acknowledges it's easy for people to point blame at one side of the aisle or the other when it comes to the harmful rhetoric, but he believes safety should be a top priority regardless of political affiliation.
We should only be concerned with safety right now and making sure we're doing everything that we can. And like I said, I don't care if that is a Democrat or a Republican, we have to protect people.
The letter ends by asking the governor to answer 3 questions. What steps will DPS take to protect state legislators and other elected officials? What resources are there to monitor online threats targeting state lawmakers? And what is the plan for DPS to protect lawmakers and elected officials against any potential copycat inspired by the recent assassination?
And I think that we just have to make sure that we take this very seriously and do everything possible to not have this violence happen in our state. And I hope that the governor takes this letter very seriously and do the work necessary to keep our state safe and the individuals who have been called to serve.
Amelia Jones, Fox 4 News.